Hey you guys, it's Christy, HEYOKA, Hey Priestess, Seer Healer, and HEYOKA Empath. This is the last final part of all these downloads, okay? So bear with your girl. I hope everyone's doing great, and here we go. And here is where we get real, okay? All right, so so some groups, particularly one I know of, okay, that like attack to meh. All right, okay, but has been attacking others, or hopefully they put themselves to rest in ways like just acknowledging like it all trickles down, you guys. It starts in the spiritual, it trickles down here. Don't let it become your destiny to end up in jail. That's all I'm saying, okay? If you're doing harm to others, you should never be doing harm to others. That's a very weird look. Like, if you care so much about your reputation, you should probably stop that one immediately. You know what I mean? To the ones in the back. Like, seriously. So there is a group and or more. Remember, I spoke on, there's like an older group and then like a younger, but honestly, I feel like the older group is like obviously parents to these children that are the younger group like festered in, or they collectively all work together. Slightly. I mean, obviously we have the elites and all, and like the Masons and whatnot, like they have that, they are older generation, but I'm just saying like, it, you know, those all started within like frats and fraternities, but that's like the older generation that should have been doing occult like things, but now it's like the ones that are being taught, you know, through the book or what have you. It's either they're teaching themselves and, you know, maybe learned it from an elder, and then join their own group, the Brotherhood. Okay, so one of these groups, they're operating from immaturity. It is simply that, you guys. Immaturity. They are operating from immaturity, unresolved wounds, right? Or rigid belief systems. Hence, growing up in a church dynamic, be it their parents were priests, all right? They may function almost like a clique or a cult-like environment, where loyalty to the group, they think is loyalty to the group becomes more important than the truth. That's a problem. And you're not thinking for yourself when you're in these corroded, yes, I said corroded groups of lack mindset, or one set mindset. Remember, we are here as singular beings to be the most important and mature human to expand within self. And being in a group, it makes it easier, right, to kind of like build each other up and not to not take accountability or individual integrity. You guys, and some of you in this one group that I know of, you were meant to get out of it and be the bigger person, regardless of that group of immature man-children, lack of emotional intelligence. It's not a bad thing, but when you're doing bad things, yeah, it's bad. Like A, B, C, 1 + 1 = 2. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's like, so some of you all of you were supposed to see, you know, who's the biggest bully in the group and why are we followers to this? And some of this, you guys might have been taught by a parent, an elder, thinking that this is okay, when in reality, that parent and like group dynamic, child dynamic to the parent teaching, thinking it's your mentor, doing, you know, and maybe they were teaching actual cult-like ways that it can be with, you know, in spirituality can be good intent. But when you're doing like dark Satanist unalivings, like it's probably a problem, right? I'm just saying. So that was to be one of your guys' like biggest lesson, especially for the child within that group, you know, say it is a family member or just your whole family in general. Like you're supposed to break out of that. And like literally that's like saving the lineage of like the destruction that it's built over time. But if you choose the dark side and continue, like your bloodline is, there's definitely a bloodline that's like out, done for. So I'm just saying, like there's and some there, honestly, and if you don't know of this of your family, like then you're definitely the light in the family, and you're supposed to make the right decisions and not let them siphon off of you any longer, to like uphold what they, and let them marry you into like some girl that's like maybe a part of another, lineage that just has like money or is just like your family and wants to keep you kept because you are like the essence of the fucking family. Which, by the way, don't even think that's your real family, but that's for somebody. Like you're adopted or like, stolen, and I feel it. But I'm just saying, because you're the light. But like, don't go to the dark side, or it's going to be a complete downfall for all of you guys. Like, you guys, we're out here saving our lineages, not like providing and holding up the curses that we are here to break. Because I'm telling you, at this point, I think some people from like these lineages that chose the dark side, like, how many deaths have you seen by this point? Or people going to jail? Like, are people falling off? Like, literally living in Karmicville, not understanding why, you guys. I'm not saying this is everyone. This is but we don't get to attack. And by the way, if you did go to the dark side, I really hope my catalyst did not choose the dark side, because you like literally then went against like me, and it's supposed to be like a soulmate. You know what I mean? It's like, and I hope you didn't, but like, that's free will. You guys, to my catalyst, I hope you remember everything I told you, because like that was your biggest test. Like, you were supposed to go with your heart, like, and I'm saying this with love. Like, I'm just making it clear. Like, you were supposed to go with your heart. Like, it's like, and both of our families, like, quite like against knowingly who we were, like against all of this, you know what I mean? Like against us. Do you hear me? Against us. We're like supposed to save our lineages. Like, I'm just trying to make that clear. Like, why do you think you're like possibly been in such like shitty it's like your mama wants to hold on to you, your daddy, like it's like the battle between, but they know also how to work together. And when I say save our lineages, I mean step away from our karmic families that we were meant to be born into, to break free from, because our mission is so large. We're shifting the world with love and being healers. You're a fucking healer. Your mama knows it, your daddy knows it, my parents know it, they all know it, and you need to stand in your truth and say, peace family, peace weird friends that have used you for a long time. And I'm sorry that like that might hurt, but and what did I say? Don't let them make you a sacrifice. So I really fucking hope you didn't bounce to the dark side to like be mad at me over it. Like, seriously. Because you're getting played by, remember, we can call it just the human, or we can call it the spirit on their back. If they're not healing, you're getting played. Because at the end of the day, what does the devil want? None of us to awaken or be healed, even down to the elites that are reptilians, some of them. Like, you guys, we are in a spiritual world. It's like God versus the devil, like, kind of thing, So it's like, how do we break? What is the matrix? The matrix says free will to go do what? Like, live our lives to just be alcoholics and like drug addicts? I don't think that's the fucking kicker here. Trust me, I told God, I'm like, let this be an actual playground. So then we were already souls before. Like why? This is why you'll get to that question. Why are we here? Well, listen, we have to be here because we're supposed to be the adults, and like in adults in a manner of loving ourselves enough to say, you're just another human to me sometimes. If you're going to hurt me, harm me, I don't care if your label is a mom. You weren't so much a mom, were you? Or you weren't such a father because you stole from me and my, it's like, and my mom. Like, you guys, be careful of the labels. They'll get ya. They'll get ya. They'll get you. We are intended to be mothers as well. Well, we definitely don't want to make sure we end up having babies with the wrong person. That's going to be a karmic child and obviously it's a beautiful child, but like, you're going to have to do a lot more work with that child, of course. You have to then heal what's now broken down, not just from your side of your lineage, that person's side. So you better figure out what they come from. I'm just saying. But this is where we're at. So it's no one's fault. It's no one's fault, but we are responsible for healing the wounds that were placed upon us. That's why you just sometimes got to separate. We just have to see it for what it is. Okay, if like you love your life so much, right? If you want to live, you want to be like anything you want to be, right? And even if you want to be the rebel that like goes against your parents because you're angry at them because they like abandoned you, absolutely. I'm pretty sure we've all been abandoned like in way worse ways than we are even like aware of. Not just leaving the home, but like abandonment on all traumatic levels that. Yeah, we then have to heal that. So don't waste your time being mad at it or mad at them. And God is sorry for that. But He did this because He knows you're strong enough to heal from that. God does not give you more than you can handle. So actually like take it as like damn, I must be a fucking badass then. I'm serious. If you are like going through the hardest times or like your childhood was fucking a ratchet, you're supposed to be a fucking full leader of this world. And that is the truth. And also, you guys, we do have those pivotal moments. Are we going to go down? Are we going to be so angry at the world and go down the I don't give a fucking lane, which only destroys you? I mean, like there's definitely statistics of that. There's data. There's data of these things, you guys. Don't be fooled by, don't let your anger and your unaligned chakras to like, get the best of you. That's like, you're making the devil happy, or what have you. Like, cause at the end of the day, it's you in your vessel alone. That's either going to get locked up, that's going to get scammed, that's going to get, have your, no friends are on that call when you're in jail, letting you trust that. So for all my people out there, very logical, that live in a very logical 3D even mindset, which is typically the male, and to my more emotional based females that don't know that form of detachment, right? Like, remember, we are all feminine and masculine. However you want to shake it up, it is that. We are to balance our emotions here on this earthly plane. We are to be independent. We are to have a voice. We are to say yes, no, maybe so. Like, stand tall for yourself. We are to recognize what doesn't feel good for us and to say, yeah, no more of that ever again. And to also say what is good for us. Yes, let me give this a chance and dive further into this. And yes, we are supposed to believe in something outside of us that is, a greater thing for when we are down, we can look to. And to further this, to the males that maybe have lived such heavily in that one set mindset or that logical mindset, you are meant to tap into your emotion, your more feminine side. Most of the males here are supposed to value that and be aware of it and to accept it because it's in all of you. And honestly, if you really looked at it and didn't have a judgment behind it, most men, because you guys were so deprived of your emotions as younger children, unfortunately, and I'm sorry, especially if you were born into a very patriarchal, systematic, whatever way of like thinking, being societal, the way you had to look, the image that you had to present, know that you will be happier if you release that image or that need to be that presentable image and marry, what or get even approval of what your family members think, say. It's like the book of like what the world or something that's like says, like, it's like, what's your 5-year plan? Like, to be in this like robotic, unhappy, but on unhappy indoor marriage, but make sure you look presentable on the outside because everyone else matters more. No. Hell to the nah. Like, we're not doing that. Okay? Like, no. You guys, it's okay. So there's that. So the masculines are supposed to stand. That is what a male is. A man is someone that, like I've said many a times before, is someone that values their whole. And to my females, and this is it can be for males too, you guys, you have to just look at what you've heavily been like induced to, or like what you are so rigid to. And that's all you know. You're you will have to slide into the opposite side of it. So you can balance yourself out as a wholesome person. And that is when you really do see, what do I like? What do I not like? What do I not even believe in it anymore? What do I believe in? Maybe I'm attracted to my same sex. Like, you don't know. Like, trust me, this is the awakening time. But for my females that have been in this structure of needing to be so appeasing to and pretty and whatever the male says goes. No. Does it look like our world even slightly runs on like the man even courting a woman anymore? We aren't meeting those standards. Like, just like the men shouldn't have to meet certain standards anymore either. Because we're in 2026 and no one is meeting those standards equally. And women, yet again, it's like falling back to like the women are being used and abused, or like the men that are more in like their emotional side are getting the same, like, or the women that are like actually like standing in their truth and like being stronger behind their word, they're looked at as bitches and stuff. And it's like, no, brah. It's like, no, we're not. We're standing up for ourselves. And if anything, by the way, guys, I'm pretty sure you guys are more attracted to the female that knows who the fuck she is, and you're like, damn, how can I be that? Isn't that why we have so much competition going on amongst the women and the males, confused about maybe their sexuality or needing to conquer them and dominate over them in the worst way possible? Listen, let me leeway back, because this is a problem, and this is what's occurred. Like, seriously, these brotherhoods, and by the way, if you're not doing it in broad daylight and promoting it, right? Should be like making money off of it. I'm sure you are, but behind closed doors. But what I'm saying is, like, if you can't do it in broad daylight, it's probably not acceptable, right? Okay. So back to this. Okay. So there's a group operating from that immaturity level, right? Cult-like even. Okay. Becomes more that they're going with their way of thinking. The group think is not always a good group think. Who's going to be the one to stand up in that group and say, I don't really like this feeling anymore? Because now, or hopefully you guys have escaped these or looked inside each other's eyes and said, we look like harmful people. Okay? Because within these dynamics, harmful behaviors become normalized, encouraged. And remember, yes, this is like you guys being that cold. That's like egging each other on, when in reality, you're like, oh my God, if we ever got caught for this, like, we would be in jail. Okay? Encourage, and even you guys you're like celebrating each other, but like your soul doesn't feel so right, does it? But the loudest one in the room, the bulliest, or like the bully, it's always going to try and pull you back, because that is the most insecure one in the room, the most lost one, but you're following it's like Peter Pan. It's all fun and games until it's not. okay? You still live here, you guys, in 3D. So, in some cases, and I honestly, you guys, I don't even say this with haste, okay? It's just like, it's ridiculous. Like, don't you, like, come on, like. And I know you don't like to hear it from me, but, and why is that? Why would that be? Because I'm a female? Because I'm one that maybe got used within this group? Seriously. Where's the man standing now? That's what I'm saying. Like really, like how, like, all of us are just here trying to like be the best we can, right? We hope. Do we mess up? Absolutely. Like I said, I'm no goody two shoes. I'm sure everyone thinks these things. Hell no. I had to go through fucking hell to fucking get my shit, how stubborn I am and all these things. Yeah. Like, if anything, I'd be like, I'd ride with the guys. But like at the same time, like not riding in this manner. No. And the justice card comes out. So, like I said, it's my catalyst. Or my ex. Whoever wanted to fucking go down this lane, be a part of this group, and run amok, thinking that they're going to win. You ain't. And by the way, you were supposed to be my person, and we were supposed to ride together. So, I hope you pick the right path at some point. If you're not in jail already, there's always a turnaround. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, this is how real this shit is. And apparently this is how real people need to like scream it at people. But honestly, people never learn until they're in the muck of their own muck. And then they're sitting like fuck my life, right? And then that's another pivotal moment. What am I going to do? Get up or be like, I'm mucky and everyone feel bad for me? Get the fuck up. Get the fuck up. Because now we're all your buddies. Turn your life around. For you. Seriously. Seriously. All of us, you guys. Pick yourself. Every time you pick better, you're picking your fucking self. Yeah, your friends won't care. Like anyone that goes south on something, where are the homies? Where's the family? Where's the wife? Where's the girlfriend? That's why we have Al-Anon. Al-Anon is what teaches the parents and the friends actually to get the help for the one person or child that has created the muck and wants everyone to be on their side. When thankfully they're smart enough to say, no, they need to learn their own lessons, and that is the truth. It's sad to say, but like, I don't care what authority you have or what have you. Oh, trust, like God will, it's just like, and the people that take advantage of their authority and you do wrong and you intentionally, and you keep doing wrong intentionally, because you're fucking up the world, homies. Yeah. God will have a big one for you. Why do we have the word infamous? Hello? Like, because you're a fucking, what are you, famous for being a fucking criminal? Yeah, that's impressive. Not when you're locked behind jail and you're all alone or you're scared to death that someone's gonna grape you or be killed. Yeah. These are extremes, but extremes happen overnight sometimes. Like, I hope I've scared everyone enough because these are the realities. We see it all day long. We see it everywhere. Never think you're untouchable unless you're doing the right thing by the Most High, the creator of this fucking world. Yeah. And he still will put you through your hell of like, but for you to grow. Not to be a little bitter bitch and be like, I'm going to be petty today because I'm bigger than God. If you really think that, you're looking at a Lulu bin. Okay? Hard truths. What do I talk about on my channel? The truth. You guys, wake up and be your authentic self, but stop harming yourself and stop harming others. To the back, in the middle, to the front, to myself even. Okay? We're better than this. We all want better, but yeah, it takes a little bit of work, huh? Okay, So I'm going to try and say this quickly, but to this group, if you have not stopped, this will be clarity on, right? Okay. All right, so some of these individuals have collectively pursued women under false pretenses, right? Presenting themselves as genuinely interested only to manipulate, exploit, intentionally emotionally wound, or discard them. This behavior is often less about love or connection and more about validation, power, control, status, or peer approval. Remind you, to their peer approval behind closed doors, high-fiving each other. No one else knows about this. Okay. Right. So many unhealthy attitudes toward women do not arise in isolation. They can develop from unresolved childhood wounds, which any woman that you may have harmed, thinking that it was unbeknownst to them, it wasn't. It was right in our face. Okay. We understand you guys have wounds. We saw it in front of us. Like, we're not like, oh, Lord. Like, sorry. Like, we're not idiots. Like, okay. Just making that clear. If anyone wanted to try this, maybe hold back, So I have to laugh at this a little bit because, y'all, it's okay. I'm not giving you your karma, so it's all right. So, they can develop from unresolved childhood wounds, which we understand, obviously. Unhealthy family dynamics, traumatic experiences, distorted being the key word, okay? When we are not healing our wounds, we live in a distortion of the truth. We live in an illusion. That's like being a covert narcissist. You're like a victim to your own narcissism. So it's like, remember, remember what occurred to us as children and or up and coming to the our adult life wasn't always our fault, but it is our responsibility to heal what occurred to us, or we end up like the people that harmed us or worse. And who do we have to blame? Ourselves. That's the hardest truth of them all. And mind you guys, this has been very much worldly because it's a distorted cultural condition. Okay? So remember, if you're ever feeling like you're the only one going through it, you're not. We all are. This is why we're on here, because we had to take that hermit time to heal, to even be strong enough to stand here and speak on these things. Okay? So don't think you're any different. None of us, like all of us, we all sat down together and we're able to just like if God took away all our like judgment from on ourselves or all our assumptions towards others and projecting, and we just said our truth, we would all be hugging. It'd be like a fucking kumbaya by the end of it. And we would see each other and we'd like unite as one. We would. Because we've all been it in some form, some way, at some time, at some age, by somebody, a family member, a friend, or a stranger. And also remember, our family members, these things were done to them too. Why do you think call it a curse, call it a habit, call it a pattern? It's a pattern for sure. It just trickles down. It all trickles down. That's why we're breaking them. So if I'm harsh, if I'm jokingly on here, like, trust me, I've been there too, in some form, some way, and not just a victim of it. Like, I mean, I've never been like I hope I haven't been the bully of any of these things, but like maybe someone in my life has thought that I was a bully, and like I would feel awful. So let's not perpetuate what we know in our hearts of hearts, like that we hated done to us. Don't become the bully from when you were bullied. You know what I mean? And those are the hardest things to reflect on. But it's also okay if you choose to make a difference in your life. And if you are down in like the feeling like the pits of hell right now, because maybe this occurred to you, or not even this, just things in life, you guys. Remember, they're all learning lessons. I know it's hard to look at it like that in that moment, but it's all for your betterment. And if you say you are the bully, and a bully in some way in your life, just know you can turn it around. You're meant to. Learn from your mistakes. Just learn from them. No one wants to be the bully. I would hope. Or that's a really, really unhealed person that probably needs the most help and doesn't know how to ask for it. Because they feel like they'll be shamed. They feel like they'll be laughed at. They feel like they're just going to be like, oh, you're a lost cause. We're not. We are made with love, and we are meant to be loved. But it does start with us, and we have to give ourselves, we have to honor ourselves to know, I'm going to love me enough, the most. So someone someday will love me the right way. Okay? I know, you guys, this is like, it's none of it is like easy to talk about, but it's real, and this is where we're moving towards. It's real, and it happens, and we're not going to shame one another. We're not. We're going to move through it, because we are not meant to be evil people. We get lost. We're confused. We want to join groups and think it's like because you feel love in that group. Do you not? You feel accepted. But are you being accepted for the right reasons? Okay? But you have you, and you get to get you out of any predicament, anything. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock right now. Yeah, that is 1 of faith. That was major confirmation for what I've been saying. And that's amazing. That's God saying, yes, child, this is right. And I was just thinking in my head, even when I saw it, I was thinking, none of us humans with souls, beautiful souls, get to shame others. Who are we to shame each other? Come on. And we don't get to humble people. No, but that is weird, okay? Because you're probably, no. If anything, to humble is from God, and no one can take on that, okay? No one's humbling anyone else. Trust me, you'll get humbled then by him. But if you are to think in that mindset, you humble someone by being there and speaking your truth and saying, this can hurt me. And you hope that, that person hears you and sees you, and, you guys work through it, or you leave it as it is, and you have to have boundaries, and let them process through, and, but yeah, that's taking control of your life. We all want to have control, right? We all want all this control. Then take control in your life the right way. And it can be hard, but it's meant to be a little hard. Because then once we do it, we're like, oh, that wasn't so hard. I was pleasantly surprised. Or good for me. I feel amazing. I stood up for myself. I just broke through the ceiling of another awakening moment for myself. Knowing that I can do all things. Be it hard, be it easy, and all the fucking in between that we live in all day, all long. Oh, wait. Yeah, you guys get it. That we have to live in the gray areas, right? So, okay, without stopping, let me just read this through, okay? So I'm going to start back at, they can develop from unresolved childhood wounds, unhealthy family dynamics, traumatic experiences, distorted cultural conditioning, or environments that taught domination instead of mutual respect, right? Regardless of each other's upbringings, how we look, how much money we make, et cetera, et cetera. While these experiences may help explain how certain beliefs developed, they never excuse abusive, manipulative, degrading, or exploitative behavior. So in some of these, patriarchal thinking at its most unhealthy teaches that women exist primarily to serve men, meet their needs, remain silent, avoid questioning authority, maintain a particular appearance, or sacrifice their own identity for someone else's comfort, needs. Healthy relationships, however, are built upon mutual respect, right? Equality, you guys. Emotional maturity, equality, accountability, compassion, and shared growth, not domination or control, right? So individuals operating primarily from pride, ego, insecurity, and we all have done this, emotional immaturity, or an unwillingness to examine themselves often reinforce one another's unhealthy beliefs, right? And then we're bandwagon shit. And like, we don't want to bandwagon for the wrong fucking idea, group, belief, etc. So rather than encouraging healing, accountability, or personal growth, the group may reward arrogance, manipulation, mockery, emotional suppression, or the devaluation of others. When a dominant personality or influential leader models these behaviors, the group's dysfunction, keyword, can become even more deeply rooted. All right, okay? Some individuals may also struggle with aspects of their own identity, okay? Which is fair. Fears of rejection. That's a big one, you guys. We've all been there as well. No one likes to feel rejected, okay? Or concerns about how they will be perceived by their families, communities, or society. When people feel unable to live authentically, and sometimes we don't even know how are we authentic? Like, who am I? That's that whole who am I? Remembering. So when people feel unable to live authentically, that internal conflict can sometimes be redirected outward, projected outward, right? Okay, we've all done that. I know that. Through judgment, projection, hostility, or attempts to control others, okay? These are learned behaviors, you guys, a lot of times, all right? So living behind, that's why we break the curses. Okay. Living behind a mask or masks, plural, often limits personal growth, emotional freedom, and the ability to develop empathy, to feel another, to feel for another, to put ourselves in that person's position, right? Empathy for both oneself and those around them. Totally fair, totally true. Okay, so it's also important to know, in this group as well, to recognize that not everyone involved is acting with malicious intent. Fair, of course. Some, that's why there's typically like one bully, okay? But some people become what are commonly referred to as flying monkeys. That is what we call this in like the spirituality realm. Or bandwagoners, or what have you, or followers, just followers, you know? So flying monkeys without fully realizing it. Totally fair. That's like that whole form of like, I always want to say like Stockholm syndrome, but I know that's totally different. But it becomes like this like patterning, this like mind control almost, you know, unbeknownst to the people in the group. So they may be it's manipulation, right? Manipulated through half-truths, which is totally fair. Half-truths, emotional storytelling, fear, loyalty, guilt, or misinformation, okay? Misinformation. So believing they are helping someone they care about, which is totally fucked up by the person that's like telling you all this. Yeah. Okay. So by helping someone they care about, they unknowingly become participants in another person's unresolved conflict. Okay. I see that. This is why discernment, critical thinking, and hearing all sides before forming conclusions or making assumptions, right, are essential, keyword, qualities of emotional maturity. Yes. And just smart in general to like, because you don't want to be a part of something that is like, right? Oh my gosh, then you're like angry at that person that like led you to falsity. One of the greatest indicators of emotional and spiritual immaturity is the need to recruit others into a conflict that should have remained between two people. Yes. Wisdom seeks understanding. How do we understand? We have to know all sides of something. It's like, let's actually get the facts, okay, from the people that we are talking about. Ego seeks an audience. It does. It can only survive with an audience to be in your actual ego, yes, or narcissistic ways, tendencies, what have you. Emotionally healthy people do not need to gather supporters to mistreat someone, obviously. When you heal, you are not involved in any of this, okay? So they seek resolution rather than recruitment. When someone continually enlists others into conflict, it often reveals more about their own unresolved wounds than the person they are attempting to target. Exactly. Typically, when you're in a leadership role, right, you're someone that makes sure everyone feels safe, included, understands the assignment appropriately, right? And you're there for the betterment of not only each individual, right, but of the whole foundation of what you are presenting to the world, because you want to do well, right? Judgment, assumption, resentment, and unresolved anger can become the emotional fuel, the fuel that keeps these unhealthy dynamics alive. Totally fair, totally true. I think even the people that were in these things, hopefully you're not anymore, they know that. You guys know that, right? Okay. So over time, individuals may convince themselves that hurting, manipulating, humiliating, or isolating another person somehow gives them power. Well, let's check in with that power. Where is that power really leading you? So in reality, though, these behaviors often reflect fear rather than strength, avoidance rather than courage, and insecurity rather than confidence. And that's okay too, you guys. We're meant to learn and heal that about ourselves, okay? People who rely on group validation instead of personal accountability often hide behind one another rather than standing independently in truth and integrity. This creates an illusion of power while preventing genuine healing, emotional maturity, self-awareness, and authentic personal growth. That's why sometimes you guys always say there's going to be one in the group that's like, this doesn't feel right, or it goes too far, and someone stops it, because all these illusions can break then. And that is that's a very powerful place to stand. That's the power. Seeing through that veil and saying like, no, you guys, this is all too much. It's a no. Even if they all want to go against you, right? Because they might still be in that illusion, but you broke through. That's why it's so important, you guys, to really know, like, essentially, I know they say like there's no good and bad, but like there are poor choices, and we have legalities, we have our rights, and we have the laws that keep us from practically in cahoot, like getting in these like what can form into cults that we think are just like fun brotherhood things, but look at the delusion that can lead to, you know, the distortion of the mentality, the group think that can get you so far away from yourself that there's no one in the group to like checkmate someone, you know? And that's why we also have God that looks over all of us. Because when we can't see ourselves in the mirror, how are we going to be our own God in ways? Right? And that's the distortion. And trust me, like, even down to our bodies, like when we look at our bodies, some of us see dysmorphia. That's why we have these words at the same time. So we don't want to get so far away from ourselves, right? So we have to take more personal accountability every time before you go to bed. You guys check in with yourself every morning you wake up. Is this my energy, or is it, and what energy do I want to even step in today? You know, it's a new day. Make it anew. Make it better than the day before, you know? So anyways, because if we keep in this group think that's in a negative mindset, right, it can create the illusion of power while preventing genuine healing, emotional maturity, self-awareness, and authentic personal growth. right? So when manipulation, coordinated harassment, deception, intimidation, or other harmful behaviors become normalized, like really normalized within a group, the environment can become increasingly toxic, like scary toxic, like, right? In some situations, these patterns may even cross ethical or legal boundaries. Regardless, another person's actions never determine your personal worth, your purpose, or your future. That's when you want to think about your future, So no amount of gossip can change the truth. There's your truth, there's my truth, and there's the truth kind of thing, you know what I mean? There's your truth, the group's truth, and then the truth, So no amount of gossip can change the truth, all right? No amount of manipulation can rewrite your character. And no amount of projection can alter who you truly are, all right? So eventually every mask falls. God will make sure of it, okay? Every motive is revealed and integrity speaks louder than accusation. Absolutely. Continue walking in your truth. Allow your character, your individual character, your actions, your peace, and your consistency to be your greatest testimony. And that's to all of us, you guys, okay? This is to all of us, So those who are committed to truth will eventually recognize it. They will. All right? And some are quicker to that than others, and that's okay, too. And then they can help the others to recognize the truth and be like, yo, bros, girls, whatever. What are we doing here? Let's pull it back. Let's checkmate ourselves, right? So those who remain committed to illusion will eventually be confronted by it. By another friend, a person, or stranger, whatever, the law, God, So your responsibility is not to convince others of who you are. Your responsibility is to remain aligned with your integrity, protect your peace, and continue walking the path that divine source has placed before you. Okay? And that's your higher self too. We're talking higher self, okay? Obviously, and God and our ancestors, all the above, the ocean, whatever you believe in, my loves, okay? All right, my love, that is it. That is all. That was so long. Oh my goodness, okay. I love everyone. Thank you for all your support. I'll just, if you're going through this or you're not going through this, seriously, thank you. Thank you for you guys for being committed, just solid humans, and supporting me. It's, we're all going through it some way, somehow, so let's go through it together, I guess. All right, I love you guys. I'm here. Whatever you guys need, I'm here, okay? Echoes of your name, hearts in sync the same, pulse of love in this night, two souls dancing in light, feel the beat of you, every moment true, wanna stay right here, where there's no more fear.